Sun had begun its fall over the mountain peaks when Bertrand reached the clearing. Few people ever wandered this far into the woods, especially at dusk. This was the domain of wild animals and lawless brigands. Darkness signaled their appearance from secret lairs. The young man was familiar with this place, for it was here that he had first encountered the strange hermit who shared words of wisdom with him. He knew that the kind old man lived nearby, though he had never seen his dwelling. He could only hope that fate would grant him a stroke of luck, and that he would come upon the solitary figure before nightfall. The pace of the sun's decline was quickening, and Bertrand was well aware that great dangers awaited him if he were caught in the forests at night. He grabbed an oak branch for protection and hurried to the middle of the clearing. He stood there, waiting. Perhaps the old man would see him from his hidden home and come to him. Or perhaps he would have to spend the longest night of his life listening to every suspect sound and watching every movement. Bertrand knew little about religion, though everyone around him seemed to live and breathe it. Like his father before him, he was a hard-working, practical sort who had to see and touch things in order to believe in them. But now, in this desperate moment, as he sought to fight off the fear that was quickly rising in his soul despite his mighty courage, Bertrand felt an irresistible need to call upon a greater power than himself. Never before had he felt such a feeling. It was alien to his nature, and he would have dismissed it immediately were it not for the fact that it caught him in a moment of overwhelming need. His pride attempted to keep the prayer from escaping his lips, but it broke free and gushed out like a long-repressed feeling. Father in heaven, have mercy on my miserable soul. Bertrand had never experienced such an opening in his heart, not even in the presence of Adela. This feeling, this need, sprung from unexplored depths of his nature and revealed for a brief instant the bottomless abyss of his spirit. Have mercy on me. The prayer came out again, uncontainable. The sky was now a crimson red, and already the thick foliage surrounding him was steeped in darkness. The first howls of the night creatures echoed through the forest. Bertrand stood in absolute stillness, mesmerized by the fire in his breast. A great peace flooded his soul, a peace with which he was unfamiliar. Somehow he knew that the angel of death would not come to him this night. For the briefest moment he envisioned another land where the grim reaper would stand before him. The vision was so real and flooded with sunlight that as he stood in nocturnal shadows he found himself squinting. He then felt a strange dirt, fine and hot, under his feet, and saw in his mind's eye a vast horizon devoid of trees and mountains. In the blink of an eye, the vision was gone, leaving Bertrand disoriented. He shook his head, wondering what sort of dream would appear before him at such a critical moment. The sound of cracking underbrush pulled him out of his reflection. He turned around swiftly, raising his staff. A tall silhouette at the edge of the clearing slowly moved toward him. Bertrand braced himself for combat. What troubles you, my son? The vigorous young peasant dropped the branch with a sigh. The gentle voice was none other than that of the recluse he had hoped to find. An overwhelming gratitude filled his heart with joy and his eyes with tears. Without understanding how or why, he knew that he had some greater power to thank for this blessed appearance. Bertrand hurried toward the silhouette which had stopped short of entering the clearing. "Father, you've come!" He fell to his knees before the old man, whose features were hidden by a black hooded cloak. A hand appeared from the heavy, ragged cape and reached out to the young man. Bertrand looked up and took the hermit's wrinkled hand. Its intense heat surprised him. It felt as though the setting sun had risen again in a human limb. But this night was one of wonders, and Bertrand no longer questioned every unexpected event that came his way. "I hoped I would find you," he stated with relief as the powerful old man helped him to his feet. "No, you did not." And Bertrand was taken aback. "What do you mean, Father?" In the shadows beneath the hood he could see the gleam of scintillating eyes. Bertrand had never looked into pupils as striking as those of the hermit. Even Lord Renaud, whose courage was equalled only by the legendary Richard the Lion-Hearted, did not match the patriarch's searching gaze. The old man seemed to know the very contents of the soul before him.